Hey, Brett,
Hey,
tell
Mark.
me about curation traffic.
Sure. So last May, I think, I stumbled across this new WordPress theme called Curation Traffic. And at the time, it was this kind of this neat system for curating things off the internet and rapidly deploying it into a WordPress theme, WordPress website, in a kind of this new model of how to, it looks makes your WordPress site look a little bit like Pinterest a bit. So picture WordPress theme, kind of designed like Pinterest, picture heavy, a little bit of text, and you can click that and drill it in, and it shows it's rotating through in a number of different columns on your home page. The theme was interesting, but I was more interested in how the theme had this little bit of functionality. It creates a browser toolbar on whatever browser you're working in, Chrome, Firefox, or whatever. And when you're surfing through Google News or whatever source of, you're looking at, when you're on an article, you can quickly hit the button and it automatically grabs the content that you're looking at, pulls that into your WordPress theme, into the editor, grabs a picture out of it, and you can and it quotes, it cites whatever it is that you might be quoting. So you're not stealing content. This isn't a scraper. This is more, it helps you get proper citation for whatever it is that you might want to quote. And it helps you to cite the image that you're using. And you can rapidly then, take a couple lines and quote them, shows up in block quotes, and then type a little bit about what you think about it, or, write up your perspective on this is why I think this article is interesting. And it kind of struck me as a useful way to A, curate content, and B, do that, get some new stuff through your own site, or if you power a newsletter off of your website or something like that too, you're getting some fresh content in there rapidly without doing a whole lot of work. I'm always looking for things that make it easy to write and publish things on WordPress, because when it comes to blogging, the hardest thing about blogging is finding the time to write more and more stuff, right? So anybody can do it. Making the time to do it and is tricky, but we all read and consume quite a bit. So if you can, go directly from reading whatever it is that you're consuming and say, oh, this is what I think about it, and then zap it off into your blog, and boom, you've got an article. Well, fast forward about 4 or 5 months later, one of the things I didn't like about curation traffic was the theme. Most people want to have the theme they've got, right? So They came out with a plugin late last fall, October, November, or something like that. And so now you can add a plugin to your site that gives you that same functionality of rapidly being able to consume content anywhere and zip it into your blog as the basis or the starting point of a blog article. So these days on my browser, I've got I still blog on 3 or 4 different sites regularly, and I've got 3 or 4 little buttons for each blog. If I find something that fits that particular blog, I'm reading an article and I say, oh, that would be a good fit there, or here's my that's a good article, but it's a good article because I happen to know, these 3 tangents about, the topic. Write those up. Add it, or maybe I read an article and say, oh, they did a good job on the article, but they completely missed something here, or that article is completely wrong. You can cite it, jump right in, and provide your perspective to your community, your readers, etc. Makes the whole process pretty quick and easy. You've used Windows Live Writer in the past, right?
Right. Well, yeah, that has some of the functionality. Actually, what I'm thinking of is Amplify, which was a site that was designed, and they're gone now, and talked to the CEO a few times about that. Really liked what he started off with. They got carried away. I think they put some things into it that kind of broke this model. But when it was really working good, it had the button. So if you want to comment on something, and my default to explaining it was always New York Times. I like articles on the New York Times on certain topics. They're still the big old news organization and cover something, especially if it's, politics or current event kind of stuff. But why bother? And I teach people, if you have time to read it, you have time to leave a comment. because that gets you into the discussion. You meet new people. There is a link back to your site, but it's really not about that used to be a good search engine trick. It's really not about that. It's really about you can actually connect with people. When you get to the New York Times, there's 426 comments. Do you bother to leave comment number 427? Real easy. If you do get into reading all those, you can spend all day in arguments about New York Times articles. And the nice thing about Amplify was you click and you just start your own thread. So there's an excerpt, full credit, full citation, and then you start your own thread. I was finding that I'd write a paragraph and I'd have, 10, 12 comments in the day from people, get into discussions. The comments were sometimes just fantastic, going on for 3, 4. In other words, I was getting as good a comments as those big sites get from the people that really like and really want to talk about a topic. I was also connecting with people that were very passionate about whatever I was commenting on. From there, they went into adding some functionality, which I think broke it. I tried Storify. We had those people on the radio show back then, and great way to put stuff together. And there's a lot of action going on with people trying to make things that make a reporter's job easier. And let's face it, if you're a blogger, you are a reporter. Yeah. But Storify takes an embedded object onto your blog. So you're saying this logs into WordPress and multiple installs. That's just fantastic. I'd say 90% of the blog posts I write are curation. I've started off by something else I've read and I think I can add to it. And of course, especially when you get into blogs that aren't the New York Times, I don't think they need my link. But I'm linking off to somebody who I network with. It's like please go ahead, comment on my stuff and start your own blog post on it. Embed this video and write about how dumb we are. Maybe we better not encourage that. That's
one
too
thing
easy.
I'd point out too with this, so you can pull in an image from whatever article you're citing. It actually pulls up a WordPress editor. So you click this browser button, you're looking at the New York Times 1 minute, you push the button in your toolbar and it launches a window with your WordPress editor. It goes right in. You don't have to log in. It remembers all your login stuff. You don't have to do the password. You're in, you're editing. It's pulled in the image. And if you've highlighted in the article some text, it will pull that in as a quote, or alternatively, there's a series of buttons for each of the paragraphs in the article, and you can push a button and it'll automatically quote and add a sentence or a paragraph from that article that you can add to your citation. Okay. One of the things I found is that this is kind of like Storify. This is immediate blogging. So you publish and it goes live on your site. They haven't added the little button that would allow you to schedule a post. So
right.
One of the things I found is as I'm reading the news, typically I go into Google News and a few other places throughout the day. I'll find 3 or 4 articles that are interesting. If I hit those, they're all going to go live at once. Sometimes I'd like to push those out and stagger them just a little bit. The Curation plugin doesn't have that capability yet. They've been adding things and they've been doing regular updates. That's one of the things I always look for with a plugin. Are they doing updates? And in this case, they didn't have featured image capability last spring, but they added that over the summer. So now you can add your own featured image if you don't want to use the cited image or something like that, which right. Depending on how you write your article, your slant or take on whatever the topic is, you may want to use your own featured image, which can be useful as well. Keeps you out of trouble also. And, if you connect in your WordPress site to Facebook or LinkedIn or Twitter or any of your other social networks, you publish that article off, and this article that you've just curated then goes out to all these other networks as well, and then people filter through your article, your view on it, as they eventually work their way back to the New York Times. So that can be useful as well in bringing in that conversation.
Yeah. Well, that's what I do that on Twitter all day long, and I do use things just to space out the posts because, I post so often. In 10 minutes I can find and tweet about 20 articles, and, that's just too much for anybody to follow and read in the stream, if not just how many tweets I have to begin with. But What's frustrating there is when you tweet and somebody retweets you, I'll get people commenting back that they thought I had a great article, not realizing that I didn't write the article. I'm sharing it, and I can't put very much comment because I got to put the title and the link. Over on Facebook, it's not fitting the discussions I'm having there, so I don't share near as much. And what I'm finding between all the pages and the other stuff I maintain, lots of things I'd like to share in different places and add comments and, of course, edit, so that, I can share, my version of what it is and get the discussion started there. I think, I mentioned before about 90% of what I do is sharing on the blog. I have to say that there's probably that's only 10% of the posts that I start. Right. I'll some days leave up 4 or 5 tabs in my browser all day long for things I'm hoping to get back to and spend 10 minutes turning into a blog post. And of course, when you start spending the 10 minutes, that's when you may get carried away and spend 20, 30 minutes, an hour, whatever. But, it's getting done. I don't mind that I spend the time writing. It's that getting it started and getting over the hump of having something to talk about and getting stuck on some minor thing like how am I going to get that image from the other article with correct attribution, et cetera, et cetera. So this solves it. So great. I'm going to go try it immediately. Where do I find it? So
first off, this is it's a premium plugin. They've got actually 2 different products. There's the theme and then there's the plugin. The theme, If you buy the theme, you also get access to the plugin. I think that's $100. The plugin alone, I believe, is $50. They've kind of, the prices have fluctuated over the year or so, and they keep adding additional things to it. They've got some new landing page creator as well that's getting kind of thrown into the basket of stuff. But the name of the plugin is called Curation Traffic. There's a theme and a plugin, so don't get confused if you're looking for one or the other. Both good for their own purposes. Like I said, I personally like the plugin better. I think some people would like the theme better. But you can Google it. I've got a bit.ly link if you want to try that for just Curation Traffic plugin as well, or something like that. But it's not too hard to find. But take a look at both of them. They've got some good videos showing you how they work and kind of the workflow. And so take a look at those videos and make sure that looks like something that fit through your own workflow. Over the years, I've got tons and tons of bookmarks of articles that I need to blog about this and I bookmark it and then I never get back to it. So, this kind of gets me out of that process of just bookmarking and not using it. It makes me, it's like bookmarking, but it just launches that article right away. Great. So getting more things done.
Well, okay. Aside from the Warren and Brett are dumb comments, I'd love to see somebody embed this with using one of these tools and tell us what they think. Is there something better? Give me a comment. I want to know. I want to try these, and all for it being a little bit of a premium plugin. I know they're going to take care of you. Yeah. So find the links below and comment, and even if it's on somebody else's blog. Thanks, Brett.
Thank you.